So good flop for doing that, unlike last time. So yeah, I'm opening up a little bit more here, because these guys are kind of bad, not really playing back at me too much, and it is, with 5 players left here, it's the exact final table bubble. So I'm going to be opening up even more, because all of these guys, none of these guys have had big scores online, probably haven't even made very many final tables, so I think given their randoms, they're all going to be kind of playing a little tighter and stuff. So Sandro 3-bets me here, and it's pretty clear that they're not too loose, and they haven't really 3-bet much before, and yeah, so I've got to be giving them like a pretty decent amount of respect, even though they are 3-betting on the button. And I have ace-6 off, which obviously is an awful hand and not very good to flat with or anything. But being the spaz that I am, I decided that I wasn't going to fold here. And the reason being, at any other point in the tournament, I would have definitely folded. It's not a question. But the thing is, because they're I expect them to be 3-betting a pretty tight range, and usually when I expect someone to have a tight range, I'm not going to be trying too hard to get them off it. But the whole point of this video is to show how to adjust to the dynamics of the bubble specifically. And this is the absolute final table bubble, and we are 2 of the chip leaders. So this is a time that we can be putting them to decision for their tournament life, which they will be valuing quite a bit at this point, more than they should be. And even though they are tight, we still have to consider our image a little bit here, and that we have been opening up quite a bit more. And this is a decent chance that, like, even though they are a fish, they're paying a fair bit of attention, more than a lot of multi-tabling regs probably would be. And he might there's some chance that he might be trying to play back at me a little bit, and like, he's on the button, so his 3-betting range is probably gonna be wider than it would be anywhere else, even though he's a fish. So there's some small chance that he's actually playing back at me, even though I think it's mostly like for value, given that he hasn't done anything before. But I think given the small chance that he might be playing back, and even more so the fact that it's the exact final table bubble, I decided to put in a 4-bet here, a tiny 4-bet. Don't really have to make it any bigger than this, because it looks really strong, and making it any bigger would just be kind of a waste of chips. Also, I'm 4-betting because, like, I have an ace blocker, which he's got like a tight value range. Like, it's like he's only getting in like ace king and jacks plus here. Maybe not even, who knows. And so our ace is a pretty significant blocker in this spot. So I wouldn't be 4-betting any 2, but definitely like any ace. And so yeah, we 4-bet, and it's kind of lame, but he flatted. But it's not the worst thing, because I kind of expect that to mean that he doesn't have queens plus, which is good. And now the flop comes queen 8. Pretty sweet flop. He pretty much never hits this flop, and it's great for c-betting, obviously, because it's paired, rainbow, no draws. So I'm obviously gonna c-bet this. I don't think he really hits this unless like he had like a ace queen or a king queen, but I think his ace queen and king queen, like, I think his combos of that are very tiny, because I don't think he even 3-bets that very often. I think that his value range is gonna be pretty tight. So yeah, I just don't think that he's gonna hit that very much. But he could have like jacks or like 10s some percent of the time still. But in general, he just probably has like ace king high. So we're gonna c-bet. I c-bet pretty tiny again, because obviously this board is super dry. He has a very tiny value range, so he's going to be playing pretty fit or fold, especially with how much strength I've represented. And then he raises me and makes it 33k. So this kind of sucks, because I didn't really expect to get raised here. I just expect a ton of folds, but he does not do that. So now I am in a kind of crappy spot. I'm out of position. I can't really flat, and then have if I flatted, I would have let's see, like 40k behind into like 100k pot or something. Like I'd have to just flat like jam a turn or something like that, which would be pretty awful. And I don't really want to just jam here, and then actually run into a hand and like, or if he calls with jacks or something, like I don't know. It sucks to risk our entire tournament with, like, we'd be drawing dead if we were called. So yeah, I guess that just leaves, all we have to really do is fold, because there's nothing else we can really do. Oh wait, yes there is. We can click it back. So this is probably a play that maybe a lot of people wouldn't like, but I think that it's like a, I don't know, pretty much the best play here, because he just, like, he never hits this board. Like, what is he actually raising for value here? If he actually, like, he's representing that, like, he has a queen. He's not raising like tens or something and then gonna like continue now. The dude is like, he's repping a queen, but if he actually had a queen, he's not gonna raise it. He's just gonna be flatting like 99% of the time. So yeah, like I don't want to jam and have like, and then get it in, versus like the tiny percent that he actually has something. But jamming is probably profitable too, but clicking it back is just going to be more profitable because it has all the advantages of jamming, because he's just going to fold out all his air balls. But we're going to save a bit of money when he actually has it, and then he comes over the top again, or like he flats or something. Like, obviously we're just going to check fold and it's going to suck a lot, but you know, he's just going to like fold like almost every time here. So sure enough, he folds as expected, and I scoop heaps of money. And yeah, that's basically, like, that's a play that I made basically because it's the final table bubble, and you just want to put heaps of pressure on people in spots that you might not normally, like, you don't want to just try and win every single pot like blindly, but in spots where like there are people, like, if I would raise like under the gun 9 hit and he 3-bet me like under the gun 1, I just don't expect him to ever have a bluffing range, so I just don't want to be messing around. But since it's cutoff versus button, like, he's going to be a little bit wider than if, like, then he's not just gonna, his 3-betting range isn't going to be his getting it in range. He's going to have other stuff, and I feel like, given that it's the final table bubble, the stuff that's not in his getting it in range is going to have a really tough time continuing when I put pressure on him. And I think that he's even going to tighten up his getting it in range a little bit more. Like, I'm not positive if he has ace-king there that he's just going to be getting it, like, 5-bet getting it in on the exact final table bubble, because a lot of randoms, they don't like to put their tournament life on the line with ace-king. So, you know, or another point in the tournament with the exact same blinds and stuff, I wouldn't be trying to, like, I'm not going to be trying to get someone off ace-king ever, but at this point, I think that it's a pretty decent time to be doing things like that and just putting maximum pressure on.